Hello, welcome back. I wanted to first say that you may have noticed I've changed the name of the channel to Nails by Sora. The reason I did this is because I didn't feel like Dip by Night really served the purposes of this channel anymore, as I'm doing more nail art and gel work than dip powder at this point in time, but I will be going back and forth between the two. And I felt Nails by Sora just had a better ring to it and was a little bit more open-ended for anything that I wanted to do nail art related. Sora obviously is not my name. Sora is a combination of my cat's names, Zora and Soleil. So that is how I came up with that. But now to drop back into what I'm actually doing in the video. Still continuing on with Pride Nails, which I'm going to start, moving away from in the next videos as we're coming to the end of Pride Month. It was a lot of fun, but I'm itching to do something different now. But this video is going to be all about color blocking and dip powder application with color blocking, and I'm using dip liquids finishing off with gel top coat. And am I doing dip liquids or did I do gel liquids? Hold that thought and I will come right back. So yes, I'm using dip liquids, which did make it a little bit more difficult because obviously dip liquids dry a little bit faster than gel liquids, but I was worried with the curing process that I would have trouble with it sticking to the tape and it wouldn't come off cleanly, so I stuck with dip liquids and I got, for the most part, the results that I was looking for. So I'm using washi tape, and what I did was I put it down in an angular fashion, going from the top left of my free edge down to where my skin starts on the free edge on the right side to get a diagonal swatch of color. And I'm going to be alternating with the colors of the rainbow, going from red to orange. Sorry, I'm trying to recall what colors were on which nails because I have a different manicure on my nails now. But I did red and red orange on my thumb, orange and yellow on my pointer finger, green and blue on my middle finger, purple and or a darker blue rather, and a purple on my ring finger, and then two shades of pink on my pinky finger. And I'm using, as you saw before, I'm using the Definitely Neon collection of dip powders by Dip Nailed It, which I'm absolutely in love with, and I can't wait to use them in a different application. But the only thing I was a little disappointed in is the two shades that went on my thumb. While they look very different in the jars, once I got them on my nail, they were very similar, and you couldn't really see the difference in the two colors when they were next to each other. So I would have maybe done a true red and a true orange on my thumb if I were to do this again. But the manicure came out better than expected, and I really loved it. So, yeah, so going on from here, what I did was I I put the washi tape down in the diagonal fashion so that I could block out the area that I wanted the first color to go down. I put the I put the base liquid down, and then I poured over, and I pulled the tape off almost immediately. Um, and then I waited a few seconds, about 30 seconds, for it to dry, and then I took the washi tape and I put it down in the opposite direction, going from midway down my nail on the left side of the free edge up towards the midway point on the tip of my nail. So in this instance, you have to be really careful if you're pouring over, so that you're being very intentional with where the powder lies, or falls rather. And you can see that I have the container of dip powder right up against my nail so that I can control where it disperses, because I haven't activated the other part of my nail yet, because I wanted to go in and do a second layer. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't get any spread of the dip powder going on to the other color, thereby diluting it or bleeding the color, so that you can see the differentiation between the two colors. Now, in hindsight, what I would have done is, you could see I was using a detailing brush to lay down more dip liquid so that I could go in and, you know, correct some inconsistencies in the way the dip powder attached to the nail. But that was a stupid move, because it's not gel liquid and it dries by air, and it gunked up my brush right away. So then I had the audacious job of trying to clean it, which I think I managed to get most of it off. But what I would have done and should have done, and I think I do it with subsequent nails going forward, is do 2 coats of each color before taking off the washi tape and going on to the next color blocking. That way I don't have to worry so much about filling in other areas as I'm going along. I'll have those 2 layers of color built up before, and then I can activate it and move on to the next color. I switched out, I don't know how I managed to do it, I switched out from Sparkle&Co to Mani Boss mid manicure, because I managed to contaminate my my liquids. And I always wipe off the brush in between. Maybe it was when I don't know what happened, but I ended up gunking up the brush and not being able to use the Sparkle&Co liquid, so I switched to Mani Boss. And now I'm going in with the second layer of colors, removing a hair from the brush, going in with the second layer of colors, and before I move on to the next nail. So now that I've got the 2 layers of color on my thumbnail, I'm going to brush off any excess powder, and I'm going to activate it, because I'm going to be starting on my pointer finger, and I don't want to run the risk of pulling different shades and different colors onto my thumbnail by accident. This way it's set and I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to be going in with the yellow and the bright orange on my pointer finger, and I'm going to do the same method. So I waited a bit, and you can see this time I was smart. I kept the washi tape on. I went in and I brushed off all the excess powder and put another layer of dip liquids on top of the area that I'd already coated with dip powder. And I'm going to go in and do a second layer. That way I don't have to worry about going back and forth between the two colors and contaminating each color or bleeding the color down past the already determined line of where I wanted the color to end on the tip of my nail. So after this layer, I'm going to take off the washi tape. I'll reposition it on the opposite side of my nail to lay down the yellow and do the same thing. Dip liquid, um, color, let it set for a bit, brush off the excess, dip powder, do my second layer of dip liquid and powder, and then let it rest for a bit before I activate. So for some reason I removed the washi tape before I did the second coat, and you can see I had a little bit of bleeding down from the line that I had originally created. So as long as the liquid is still a little bit wet, you can push it back with your nail or with a cuticle pusher, just so that you can reaffirm that line and keep it where you want it. But and now I don't know what I was doing. Now I dipped into it, but um, you can see I'm trying to feel my way with it as I'm going along. So what I'm going to say is find a method that works for you. This is what I'm doing. Clearly I went back and forth between different methods for each nail, or just was playing fast and loose with it, it seems. But so I finished with my second nail, my pointer finger. Now I'm going on with my middle finger with green and light blue, and I'm going to step back and let you just watch. It's basically the same process. Put down the washi tape, put down the dip liquid, and first coat of dip powder. Let it dry, brush off the excess, put on, do not remove the washi tape until you do all your layers of dip powder that you want to do. And then brush off the excess powder, do your second layer of dip liquid and color, let it set, activate it, and then you can go on to your next nail or the next design that you want to do. I'm going to put on some music, let you watch, and I will come back at the end to wrap up. now that I've got my basic color down, I want to go in and I want to fill in the areas of the nail that don't have any dip powder on them, because obviously now I have that raised area at the tip of my nail, and I want to make sure that I have a full even coverage across from the cuticle line up towards the free edge. I don't want a clear or a pinky base. I wanted to stay with the milky white that I've been doing over the past few manicures. Also because I feel like it complements the various colors in the rainbow, and I won't have any color clashing between a nude or a light pink or what have you. And I just didn't feel like doing clear. So what I did was I took the base liquid and I carefully painted in the negative space from where I didn't lay down the color at the tip of the nail, and then I poured over with Milkmaid by Vivid Glam Dips. And I believe I only did one layer because I'm going to top it in a gel base, and gel base is a lot thicker than dip liquid base, and it would, between doing a base coat and then a top coat, it would fill in any inconsistencies or any areas where there were no dip powder, so that I could get a smooth finish over the top of the nail. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to file a little bit anyway after I do the base coat of the gel base, so that I don't run the risk of removing any color. Because the layers are a little bit thin, I only did 2 dips. I didn't do a clear coat on top, and that's because I wanted a thinner profile in my nail. I didn't want a thick, bulky nail with having multiple layers of color and clear dip powder on top of that. So I filed and shaped off camera. I finished with my gel base coat and then gel top coat. And now I'm going to put on some cuticle oil to revive my bruised and battered cuticles from all the work in the manicure today. But I know the beginning of this video was a little all over the place. As I said, you do want to make sure that you keep the washi tape on while you're doing all your layers of dip, so that you don't run the risk of bleeding your color down the nail or onto the other areas of the manicure. And then always activate before you go on to the next nail if you're switching with colors, so that you don't contaminate other nails. How you finish your nail is your choice, whether you use dip liquids or you switch to gel liquids. Just know that if you're going to use gel liquids, you don't want to use clear powder to encapsulate, because oftentimes gel liquids and clear dip powder don't work well together. But that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the manicure. I hope you took something away from it, and that you come back for more content. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down in the box below. Any suggestions for upcoming videos, please do give me a like and a subscribe. It really does help my channel grow, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.